Welcome again to tourism management, and this is Module 7. And in this Module 7, we'll be discussing tourism laws and regulation. Tourism laws and regulation. In the first slide here, we have the introduction. Tourism is an international activity that involves the movement of people across borders, the provision of services by various stakeholders, and the use of natural and cultural resources. Because of this complex nature, the industry requires clear laws, regulations, and ethical framework to ensure safe, fair, and sustainable practice. So in this module explores the legal framework of tourism, examining its importance, structure, and application in key countries and regions, the US, Canada, UK, European Union, that is EU, Nigeria, United Arab Emirates, that is UAE, and Australia, with emphasis on the similarities, differences, and emerging global trends in tourism regulation. So we'll just move ahead now. So, like always, what are the learning objectives? At the end of this module, learners should be able to define tourism law and explain its importance, identify the key areas covered by tourism law and regulations, discuss the legal framework guiding tourism in selected countries, explain the roles of national and international tourism organizations in legal regulation, evaluate challenges and emerging issues in global tourism law. Next slide here, we have concept and importance of tourism law. Tourism law refers to the body of rules and regulation and standards that govern the relationships, operations, and transactions within the tourism industry. It covers areas such as the travel contracts, safety standards, consumer protection, immigration, taxation, and environmental conservation. So what are the importance? Number one, it's important because it guides the rights of tourists. That is, tourist rights are protected. Number two, tourism operators comply with safety and ethical standards. Number three, the host communities benefit from tourism activities. Number four, the environment and cultural heritage are preserved. Number five, international cooperation and travel facilitation are achieved. In essence, tourism law establishes order, accountability, fairness within the global tourism system. So next slide here, we have major areas covered by the tourism law. So what are those major areas that the tourism law covers? Number one here, we have the travel and immigration regulation. Travel and immigration regulation, that is the visa policy, entry and exit law, passport control. Those are the travel and immigration regulation. Number two, we have consumer protection, refunds, travel insurance, and liability for cancelled or delayed services. Number three, we have health and safety standards, regulation for hotels, transport, and tour operators. Environmental protection, that's the conservation laws, and eco-tourism standards. Employment and labor law, working condition for tourism employers. Intellectual property, protecting the tourism brands, trademarks, and creative materials. Cultural heritage protection. Laws governing the These are the laws governing the preservation of monuments and artifacts. Tourism licensing and regulation. This is the laws that covers business permits for tour guides, travel agencies, and hotels. Taxation. This is for revenue. These are the laws that guard revenue from tourism ex, revenue from tourism enterprise and visitor levies. So moving on, we're going to be talking about international legal framework. Tourism does not exist. Tourism does not exist in isolation. It operates within an international context guide by by conventions, treaties, and organizations. The role of the United Nations World Tourism Organization. So the UNWTO sets global standards through policies and ethical guidelines, such as the Global Code of Ethics for Tourism in 1999, which promotes responsible tourism, cultural respect, and sustainable development. We also have the role of ICAO and IMO, the International Civil Aviation Organization. This body is responsible for regulation of international air travel, while the IMO, International Maritime Organization, handles maritime safety and passenger rights. We also have the UNESCO. We have the UNESCO. UNESCO UNESCO's World Heritage Convention 1972. It protects cultural and natural heritage It protects cultural and natural heritage sites of outstanding universal values, influencing national tourism policies. Next slide here, we have countries country-specific legal framework. So we'll be doing the countries and different countries and their specific legal frameworks. We'll be starting with the United States of America. So the US tourism industry operates under a decentralized legal system where federal and state governments share responsibility. So key laws, America, United States of America. So key laws and regulations. We have the Travel Promotion Act of 2009, established brand USA to promote the country as a tourism destination. Aviation and Transportation Security Act of 2001, Consumer Protection Law, Visa Waiver Program, Americans with Disability Act, ADA, enforcement, and then the enforcement bodies. So the enforcement bodies of this legal framework for USA, Department of Commerce, Department of Commerce, Department of Transportation, and local tourism boards. So these are the bodies that make sure that this framework is in operation. So next one here, we have Canada. Canada's legal framework promotes safety, inclusivity, and environmental stewardship. So these are the key laws and regulations. Canadian Tourism Commission Act 1995, Canada National Park Act, Private Act of 1983, Immigration and Refugee Protection Act of 2001, Consumer Protection Act, and then the Consumer Protection Act. So the unique feature of this Canadian framework, Canadian legal framework, is Canada's law emphasizes indigenous tourism rights, and community involvement in cultural participation. Next year, we have the United Kingdom. The UK's tourism sector is influenced by common law traditions and European tourism directives. So what are the key law and regulations? We have the package travel and linked travel arrangement regulation, which was established in 2018. We have the Health and Safety at Work Act of 1974, which ensures safety in tourism workplaces. We have the Equality Act of 2010, prevents discrimination in travel services. We have Data Protection Act of 2018, implements GDPR requirements for handling traveler data. Immigration Rule 2024, updated updated post updated post Brexit travel regulation. Now, responsible agency. The responsible agency for these laws are Department of Culture, Media, and Sports, DCMS. Here we have the European Union. The EU integrates tourism policy across member states, focusing on sustainability and consumer rights. So what are the key laws and regulations? EU Package Travel Directive 2015, 2302. We have the Schengen Agreement, 1985, enables free movement of tourists across board. I'm sure you must have been hearing the Schengen visa recently. General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR of 2018, EU Green Deal 2019 promotes sustainable tourism infrastructure. Now, the key institutions responsible for these laws are European Parliament and European Travel Commission. So we're going to talk about our home country, Nigeria. Tourism in Nigeria is governed by both federal and state legislation. Key laws and regulation. One, Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, NTDC Act of 1992, National Commission for Museum and Monument, National Commission for Museum and Monument Act of 1979, protects heritage sites. Immigration Act 2015 controls entry and exit of foreign visitors. Environmental Impacts Assessment Act 1992 requires environmental review for tourism projects. Hotel licensing law enforced by individual states such as Lagos and Abuja. So what are the challenges? The challenges that we face with these laws in Nigeria are: we have weak enforcement, we have limited funding, and overlapping between federal and state responsibility. Now we have the United Arab Emirates. UAE has emerged as a model of tourism regulation. They have emerged as a model for tourism regulation, balancing innovation and cultural preservation. What are their key laws and regulations? The Dubai Tourism Law 2022, it regulates hotel, tour operators, and events licensing. The federal law establishes tourism and heritage preservation bodies. Consumer protection law ensures transparency in tourism transaction. Environmental protection law, which encourages sustainable urban development and ecotourism. Visa reform 2023 introduced multiple entry tourist visa and digital nomad permits. So the distinct feature, the distinct feature with the United Arab Emirates laws and regulation is the integration of Sharia-based ethics with modern business practice in tourism regulation. This is what makes the United Arab Emirates distinct from others. Now we have Australia. Australia's legal framework emphasizes safety, consumer rights, and environmental conservation. What are their key laws and regulation? Tourism Australia Act 2004, Environmental Protection and Biodiversity Conservation Act, Australia Consumer Law 2010, Work Health and Safety Act of 2011, Biosecurity Act of 2015. Now, the special forces. Who are the special forces responsible for this? We have Australia Armed Forces, strong aviation safety and eco certification programs for sustainable tourism. Now we have here analysis of tourism law, comparative analysis of tourism law. So for developed countries, we have things like strong enforcement, clear consumer rights, embedded sustainability. But for developing countries, that is countries who are still countries that are still developing, that are not fully developed, developing countries, we have things like weak enforcement, just like what we're facing in Nigeria, weak enforcement, emerging sustainability focus, and limited tech regulations. So emerging issues in tourism law. What are the issues with tourism law? Number one, we have digital tourism and data privacy. Increased online booking and virtual tours require new cybersecurity and privacy law. We have health regulations, post-pandemic reforms to protect public health during international travel. We have sustainability and climate change, new laws, linking tourism into environmental protection goals, human trafficking and labor rights, drone and airspace use, um, artificial intelligence in tourism. So these are the emerging issues in tourism law. Here now we have the role of tourism professionals in legal compliance. What are the roles that tourism professionals should play in legal compliance? Tourism managers and professionals must, number one, understand relevant national and international laws, implement ethical policies with organizations, train staff on safety, um, consumer rights, and data protection. Maintain accurate documentation and insurance. Collaborate with regulatory bodies for compliance audits. In conclusion, tourism law is the foundation of safety, ethical, and well-regulated tourism system. It balances the interest of travelers, governments, and service providers, ensuring that tourism contributes to development while preserving rights and resources. Understanding these laws enables professionals to operate responsibly and effectively in a complex global environment. Thank you very much and see you in Module 8.